Hi, my name is Autumn, and I'm going to recite a poem called The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes. The wind was a torrent of darkness among the gusty trees. The moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas. The road was a ribbon of moonlight o'er the purple moor, and the highwayman came riding, riding, riding. The highwayman came riding up to the olden door. He had a French cocked hat on his forehead, a bunch of lace at his chin, a coat of the claret velvet, and breeches of brown doe skin. They fitted with never a wrinkle. His boots were up to the thigh, and he rode with a jewel twinkle, his pistol butts a twinkle, his rapier hilt a twinkle, under the jeweled sky. Over the cobbles he clattered and clashed into the darkened yard, and he tapped with his whip at the shutters, but all was locked and barred. He whistled a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair. And dark in the dark golden yard, a stable wicket creaked, where Tim the ostler listened. His face was white and peaked, his eyes were hollows of madness, his hair like mouldy hay. But he loved the landlord's daughter, the landlord's red-lipped daughter. Dumb as a dog he listened, and heard the robber say, "One kiss, my bonny sweetheart, for I'm after a prize tonight. But I shall be back with the yellow gold before the morning light. Yet if they press me sharply and harry me through the day, look for me by moonlight, watch for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell shall bar the way." He rose up in his stirrups. He scarce could reach her hand, as she loosened her hair by the casement. His face burnt like a brand, as a black cascade of perfume came tumbling o'er his breast, and he kissed its waves in the moonlight. Oh, sweet black waves in the moonlight. Then he tugged at his reins in the moonlight, and galloped away to the west. He did not come in the dawning, he did not come at noon. And out of the tawny sunset, before the rise of the moon, when the road was a gypsy's ribbon, looping the purple moor, a red coat troop came marching, marching, marching. King George's men came marching up to the olden door. They spoke no word to the landlord, they drank his ale instead. But they gagged his daughter, and bound her to the foot of her narrow bed. Two men knelt at her casement, with muskets at their sides. There was death at every window, and hell at one dark window, for Bess could see through the casement the road that he would ride. They had tied her up to attention with many a sniggering jest. They had bound a musket beside her, with a barrel beneath her breast. "Now keep good watch," and they kissed her. She heard the dead man say, "Look for me by moonlight, watch for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell shall bar the way." She twisted her hands behind her, but all the knots held good. She writhed their hands till their fingers were wet with sweat or blood. They stretched and strained in the moonlight, and the hours crawled by like years, till now, on the stroke of midnight, cold on the stroke of midnight, the tip of one finger touched it. The trigger at least was hers. The tip of one finger touched it. She strove no more for the rest. Up she stood, up to attention, with the barrel beneath her breast. She would not rest on hearing, she would not starve again, for the road lay bare in the moonlight, blank and bare in the moonlight, and the blood of her veins in the moonlight throbbed to her love's refrain. Tut, 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 had they heard it? The horse was ringing clear. Tut, 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 in the distance. Were they dead that they did not hear? Down the river of moonlight, o'er the brow of the hill, the highwayman came riding, riding, riding. The redcoats looked to their priming. She stood up straight and still. Tut, tut, in the echoing silence. Tut, tut, in the frosty silence. Tut, tut, in the echoing night. Nearer he came, and nearer. Her face was like a light. Her eyes grew wide for one moment. She drew one last deep breath. Their finger moved in the moonlight. Her musket shattered the moonlight, shattered her breast in the moonlight, and mourned him with her death. Back he spurred like a man. No, he turned. He spurred to the west. He did not know who stood, bowed o'er her musket, drenched in her own red blood. Not till the dawning he heard it. His face grew gray to hear how Bess, the landlord's daughter, the landlord's black-eyed daughter, had watched for love in the moonlight, and died in the darkness there. He turned, back he spurred like a madman, shrieking a curse to the sky, with the white rope smoking behind him, and his rapier brandished high. Blood red were his spurs by the golden moon. Wine red was his velvet coat, when they shot him down on the highway, down like a dog on the highway. And he lay in his blood on the highway, with a bunch of lace at his throat. And still on the winter's night, they say, when the wind is in the trees, when the moon is a ghostly galleon, tossed upon cloudy seas, when the road is a river of moonlight, o'er the purple moor, the highwayman comes riding, riding, riding. The highwayman comes riding up to the open door. Over the cobbles he clattered and clashed into the darkened yard, and he taps with his whip at the shutters, but all is locked and barred. He whistled a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair. Bye-bye.